Oh, welcome back to another, I guess, advice TED Talk. I don't really have a title for this segment. With me, So Fresh Prince. Again, shout out to Casper for this idea. It was he who said to do this at the end of the week. So I'm doing it at the end of the week of my streams. And this being the last day of my stream, this is when I will be doing it. But today's topic is from our very own Derica. Hi, Derica. She stated to talk or give advice in regards to relationships. So that is what I is doing. As far as relationships go, uh, they are a lot tougher than what people would like to put forth the effort in. A lot of times we take relationships for granted. That is both men and women. I do say that first and foremost, for a relationship to morally be successful, especially in this day and age, communication needs to be a thing, understanding needs to be a thing, boundaries do need to be set. And you both need to have that understanding that it's not 50-50, 30-70, 20-80, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. It is most definitely 100% on both people's parts to want to put forth that energy to make the relationship work, right? I think when we think about relationships, we think about, oh, we get to see the person, we get to talk to the person, and we spend time together, but we don't generally think about all the negatives that can come with it, such as arguments, disagreements, fights, things like that. Now, there are different perspectives on a relationship. You do have your healthy, you do have your toxic ones. A lot of people all aim to be in a healthy relationship that best corresponds with them. But I guess, yeah, I won't say I guess, but I think a lot of people miss the idea that relationships also do come with understanding your partner, as well as understanding that you can't be selfish in the relationship all the time, right? You have to find a compromise. You have to be able to discuss with your partner, you know, their needs and wants versus yours. You need to be able to not only have your own alone time in the relationship, but also give them their alone time, because being up under each other is also a unhealthy thing, to where you generally don't feel like you have a voice, or you, I won't say necessarily don't have a voice, but you feel shackled down, or you can't do things alone, or you can't be away from this person. And that's okay to be clingy, but there is an extent to where you need to be clingy with that person, right? You can't feel like, oh, if they go out, you have to go out. You can't feel if they go somewhere, you have to go somewhere, or if they get something, you have to get something, or so on and so forth. There has to be a limit. Understanding your partner's personal space, understanding that sometimes, yeah, it's best for them to be alone. It's best for them to have their own hobby. It's best for them to be in their own space to where they can pretty much decompress and mellow out. You don't want to always feel cooped up with each other, because then that causes unnecessary issues, like little arguments turn into bigger arguments. uh and I understand not all relationships are perfect, not everything's going to be sunshines and rainbows and things like that, but you have to understand that when it does come to the hard times, it does get a lot easier to maintain if the communication and having those conversations are there. Yeah, I granted I kind of strayed away from the original, from the topic about, the about giving each other space, but that kind of shifts into it at the same time, because if you two are up under each other, if you two are around each other constantly, especially 24 hours, especially if you live together, it only can cause the little things to grow bigger, right? And you don't want that, and the reason why I state also setting boundaries is a thing, because you don't want to get into a relationship where you feel like, because they're comfortable with something and then you're not, like, you can't speak up. No, say something, because the person's not going to understand why you have this attitude, why you're mad and upset, why you're angry, or what the problem is if you don't speak to them, right? We've all generally been there. Maybe we felt something was uncomfortable, or this, that, and the third. You do have to have those private conversations, right? You don't want to take it to where it's a public affair to where both parties can be embarrassed and things like that, or everybody in the know-it-all is in your business. As well as, do not take that shit to social media. That is probably the corniest thing people have ever done, taking their relationship problems to social media to get therapy, or to get the advice or the answers from people who generally don't give a fuck about you, right? Who may hype you up to make a bad choice, and then once you make the bad choice, you realize the consequences behind it. Stop taking that shit to social media. Social media, if you haven't watched my last video about social media, I do attend for people to look at it or just listen to it. But social media is not a place to where you need to bring your personal relationships, especially when it comes to the person that you're seeing, whether if it's a guy, whether if it's a girl, whatever the case may be, to where that has to be everybody's business. If you must, talk to it with a close friend, talk to it with family, or talk to it with that person about, hey, I didn't like this. Hey, I wasn't comfortable with this. Hey, for some reason, this rubbed me the wrong way. Right? The more so for my guys, if you are in a relationship with a woman who is the above average in most people's eyes of attractive, that does come with the territory. Granted, dating any woman also always comes with the territory, but for the most part, let's go about that, because that's usually a main topic, stating that if you can't handle dating a bad bitch, don't date one, right? I say this, and this is me just stating, this is me just talking. If you feel like it's too much that would be going on, or she's entertaining too many people, this, that, and third, then please end the relationship for your own mental health, for your own safety. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be caught in a situation to where another guy tries to talk to her. She may be showing signs that she's interested, or whatever the case may be, or how everybody likes to call it, oh, I'm just a flirty person, or I'm just a friendly person. I got to get used to this whole camera thing. All right. That shit, I find that to be a whole lot of bull, because you're not going to give people the same type of attention, time, and effort that you would someone who's really trying to lock you in, or try to build something with you, or try to make sure that you are their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case may be, right? You wouldn't do that, because you wouldn't like it if someone did that to you. Granted, I'm not saying all relationships are perfect. People have wandering eyes, people have faded emotions, people don't necessarily want to put in so much effort and time into somebody because they feel like it's automatic gonna fail if they run into like a roadblock they're not prepared for. So before all else, before getting into a relationship, please take the time to understand yourself. Please take the time to understand what you do like, what you don't, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not. If you can have that conversation with how you feel, if you're able to express yourself, things like that, because you don't want it to be you get into a relationship with somebody and now all forms of negativity is coming out because you're not okay with something. Granted, at the end of the day, guess what? A person's not going to understand you if you don't speak up for yourself, right? That goes out to a lot of people who may feel, well, you know, they know a lot of people and they're cool with a lot of people, or they're cordial with a lot of people, and I just don't know. Maybe they have something sneaky going on. Speak to them. If they are direct with you, they give you the honest answer. And granted, not everybody's going to be honest about their intentions with any and everybody. But if you see something that generally upsets you, speak to them. If you see like maybe the action wasn't okay, or maybe how y'all talk to each other, I just don't find that to be just a friend level, speak to them, because you never know what you could be assuming, what you could be thinking that could be completely wrong. When it comes to like tending to the relationship and trying to make things go well, my best advice that I can give is simply, I know it's cliche to say communicate and understand, but you gotta try something creative, right? You have to be able to make sure that person understands that you still care about them, you still love them, you still have these strong emotions with them, but it's not going to be played out each and every time. Doing something, picking activity together, doing a surprise date, buying the small things like, I don't know, a fucking teddy bear or something that you feel like represents them in a sense. Because a lot of times people complain about, oh well, when we first started to get together, they would do this, that, and the third, and then as soon as the relationship kept going on, they stopped doing it. We can't stop the habits that we put forth to get this person. That goes for man and woman. You can't feel like since now we're in a relationship or since now we're married, I don't have to do that stuff anymore. No, you still do. And there's no shame in saying, hey, look, I'm tired, or hey, I wasn't able to, or just expressing yourself. Because a lot of people overthink a lot. A lot of people just don't understand. A lot of people may not take words as high end things, and they may generally feel like you gotta show me with your actions. It's nothing wrong with going out and buying something for like $5, $10. Granted, in this economy, shit's hella expensive now. That's the point. Or, putting forth the effort of, hey, I plan something for us to do at this time. You know, you still got to put forth the effort. Ladies, yes, put forth the effort. It's okay to put forth the effort. I understand a lot of y'all probably been in a lot of bad relationships, man and woman. Still put forth the effort. Stop bringing y'all past relationships because y'all feel like shit's not going well, or shit went left, or shit just wasn't in your favor, or he did this or she did that or whatnot. Stop assuming every other person's gonna do it. If you generally start feeling like every other person's gonna do it, you're gonna keep bringing that issue into every new relationship. Every new relationship is gonna have that issue. And if you generally feel like, I can't get over that feeling because it hurts so much, seek help, seek therapy, do something. If you're having trouble in a relationship and you try it all out, go to couples therapy if you can. Take some time away from each other. That doesn't mean like, oh, go see other people and this, that, and the third. But take some time, explore and find yourself, and come back and see where things are at after that point. Right? When it comes to overreacting and like petty shit and things like that, trust me, that gets played out real quick. And I'm sorry to say this, it gets played out way too quick. There's only but so many times that you're gonna block me to see if I have to reach out to you through another number, through an email, or pull up on you. No, because you want to know why? Then continue on that pattern at some point is going to annoy you. It's going to annoy whoever. And then when authorities get called and when restraining orders get put and all this other stuff, it's no go. If you feel like your final resort is, oh, well, I got mad at you over something that I know we could have talked about, so I'm going to block you. Hey, you do you and I'm going to do me. Right. And I generally not trying to break nobody's relationship up if that does happen, but understand nothing should ever resort to being blocked unless it's something serious, or unless we know that the relationship is completely over and I want nothing to do with you. If you still have in your heart, in your mind, deep down somewhere that I'm mad at this person for this moment and this moment only, and I may just need some time to myself to cool off, rethink it, and then proceed on again, then do so. But blowing up the phones, all this other stuff, it's unnecessary. For people trying to be in toxic relationships, especially ones that are more verbal and physical and emotional in a sense, like I said, please always try like removing yourself from that. Right? Be careful about who you date and why you're dating them. Be careful who you're in a relationship with and why you're in the relationship with them. Because it's all cute and dandy that, oh, well, this person bats for me, this person fights for me, and all this other stuff. But when their anger kind of gets to the point to where they verbally abuse you, physically abuse you, emotionally abuse you, whatever the case may be, and think the whole, oh, well, I love you, right? And all that comes into play, please get out of there. A lot of people do lose their lives over that because they think that that's okay. That, oh, it just happened one time, it won't happen again. It will happen again. There should be zero reason why somebody of anybody in a relationship should get to that extreme of an action, right? Protecting you is one thing, making sure that your safety is good is one thing, but making sure being the person who harms and whatnot, that's crazy situation is all I can say. um for more healthy relationship things, do it's okay to do activities together. It's okay to compromise. It's okay to find an interest or be there just for support, whatever the case may be. We don't have to feel like, oh, it's an issue, or oh, it's something that doesn't fit who I am as a person, or oh, I don't think this is me. You never know. It's okay to, if your guy or girl plays video games, it's okay to be there and let them play the video game and just support, ask questions, maybe even say, hey, how do I get into this? If your girl or guy watches a certain show, hey, you know what, are you cool with me and like spending this time and watching it with you? You know, what's the show about? This, that, and third. It's okay to spend those moments together, whether you like it or not. You know, you can then make that decision. Hey, you know, I appreciate, you know, you including me into your time. I understand this, that, and third, but this just wasn't for me. So I'm gonna leave it to where this is just a you thing. This is where you have your peace. This is where you have your moments. But I appreciate you. I love you. And boom. As far as continuing on with healthy relationships, like I said, y'all need time apart. It's okay to do things separately. You don't have to be up under each other doing the same thing over and over again. Also cater to that person. It's okay to take a day out to say, hey, I know you've worked hard. I know life is tough. I know you've been through a lot. You know, I made you something. You know, do you like doing minimalistic things that would at least give them some form of ease, right? We don't want to keep putting people through this tough times or through these hardships of having to deal with the world, coming back home and having to deal with someone else being on their case about something, right? We expect our partners to be our peace in our lives. We expect our partners to understand that, hey, sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I just want to relax. I just want to chill. And we have to understand that. We have to relax. We have to make sure that one, our partner's happy so that we're happy. Right? So that whole happy wife, happy life, all that other stuff, let's stop that. 2024 moving on forward, let's stop that. Because it takes two people to be happy in the relationship. Regardless. Don't care. It takes two. So let's move on forward, trying to make sure that one, our partner's happy. One, making sure that we're doing the things for them that they would want to do, that we should expect them to do for us. Not all of us is going to be at 100% to always do work duties and then home duties and then this duties. And especially if you have kids, we have to find a balance. We have to it's okay to be able to split the work and how to run a household or how the relationship can go and stuff like that. It's okay. We got to get out these negative ass mindsets because, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to be happy. If you feel like you're not happy in the relationship or this is not the person you want to be, it's okay to end the relationship. If things kind of get crazy, find some way to safely do it. Right? Because again, relationships are getting worse throughout the years. I'm not saying all relationships are bad, but people generally feel like if I put my emotions first, if I put my feelings first and whatnot, I can just say F everybody else. I understand focusing on yourself, trying to improve yourself, and trying to become a better version of you than you were yesterday is always a good thing. But don't bring somebody else down and don't treat somebody else like shit because you generally feel like, oh well, I worked my ass off to get to this point. You should do everything I say, whether if it's a man or a woman. Don't care. Nobody should belittle their significant other because they don't have as much as them, or they're not at the same ballpark as them, or they're not on the same level as them, whatever the case may be. Right? I don't know. I mean, this video has been going on for quite some time, so I don't want to make it too long in terms of, blabbing and ranting and talking people's ears off. I guess mostly my final message, just out to all those who are in relationships, trying to get into relationships and whatnot. Talk to the person and see what their boundaries are. See what they're okay with. See what they're not okay with. See what you're okay with. See what you're not okay with. Communicate. Understand each other. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Don't be afraid to tell them what it is and what it ain't. If they don't respect you on the shit that you're telling them, then that's not the person you want to be with. Stop taking things as a physical aspect of, well, I got the most attractive person, and people looking and wondering whatnot. Because guess what? There's many times where a lot of opportunities, a lot of people want what you have, and they will go for it. If you feel like your person has a past of doing people dirty, there's a high chance they have a past of doing. My fault. There's a chance that they're going to do you dirty. If you feel like that they're not genuine enough, or they don't care, or they're not putting forth the effort, then find somebody who will. There's tons of people who will, but we gotta stop taking the superficial shit and thinking that, oh, they're not good for us. Just because the person may not be the Beyonce of the group, or be the Shaquille O'Neal of the group, does not mean they won't care to make sure that you're happy, make sure that you're okay. Hey, I noticed that you looked at this when we went out the other day, so I bought it for you. Hey, I know you've been working hard, so relax. Let me cater to you real quick. Y'all can do a lot more in a relationship that y'all think a person may not appreciate, to the point to where they probably would take that to the grave with them and be the happiest person alive. But we're so superficial on things that we don't understand that just because it's shining don't mean it's a diamond. I can put glitter on ship. Guess what? The value still gonna be shit. That generally does not matter. So as I end this TED Talk and talk, like I said, for all the couples out there, I do hope y'all have a wonderful relationship. I hope y'all are able to strive for the goals that y'all want with each other. I hope that y'all are able to build and continue on with each other, as far as, just understanding and being there and whatnot. And for those who want to get into a relationship, take the time to understand that person. Take the time to express how you feel. Make sure that you know your boundaries. Make sure that their boundaries match how that person comes into your life. Communicate for the problem. If you have a problem, speak to them in regards to it. If you don't see a change, don't stay. If you feel like, even I could care less what potential may look like. If you're in the long haul and you're doing everything that you can for them and you don't see them trying to do for themselves, leave. They just got to understand that, hey, life is tough out here already. I don't need you to make my life tougher. You feel me? So as I do that, again, shout out to Casper for the idea of ending the week off with these. Shout out to Derica again. And I will be back next week with another one, unless the Lord says otherwise. But until then, y'all have a wonderful night, day, whenever y'all see this, whatever the case may be. All right. Bye. Deuces. Get sturdy, pussy.
Magic. I fell in love with a witch and it's true. She far from average. I don't want to be with nobody if it ain't you. This shit is madness. All of this sadness. I'm tired.